today I'm gonna explain to you how to make a WS question from a statement. If we have statement like this, Paul studies in the morning, then we can make a WS question with the word you like this. When do you study? And the answer will be in the morning. Let me explain why we use the question word when in a question sentence before. Because from the statement we got adverb of time in the morning, and to ask about time we usually use question word when. So here's the formula. Question word plus auxiliary verb, do or does, plus subject, and plus verb 1. So it's question word when we follow with auxiliary verb do, because the subject we like to add is singular, then we add subject which is you and complete the question with verb 1. That's why we got the question sentence, when do you study, from the statement. Okay, now let's figure it out why those statements are having a WS question with the word you like that. First, Paul studies in the library. And the question is, where do you study? Why we have a question like that? Because we have the adverb of place in the statement, we can use the question word where. And the second statement is, Paul sees Mr. Miller. Who do you see is this question. Because we have the subject after the verb, that means we can use the question word who in the question sentence. And the third statement is, Paul is a lawyer. What are you? Are the questions. Why we use the question word what? Because in the statement it told us about a fact about Paul is a lawyer. To ask about some facts, we usually use question word what in the question. Then we add verb to be are. Why we using verb to be are? Because the subject we ask is you. That's why we need are, because that's the verb to be conjugated with you. And the fourth statement is, Paul studied grammar yesterday. When did you study is the question. We use the question word when because we have the adverb of time yesterday. But why we use did after that? Because the statement is a past tense. Now let's move on to the WH question using the expression do what. Example, John eats breakfast at 7 o'clock. And the question is, what does John do at 7 o'clock? We use the question word what because that's the expression we're looking for in this question. Do what? Why we use does as an auxiliary verb in this question? Because it is an auxiliary verb conjugated with he, she, or its. Because John is a he or a singular person, then we use does. Then we can add all the rest of the sentence to complete the questions. Okay, now let's try to make a WS question using the expression of do what in some statement. First statement, John has coffee at 10 o'clock. Then we can make a question, what does John do at 7 o'clock? Because it's the same form of the question that I've told you before. We use the question word what because that's the expression we're looking for in this question. We use does as an auxiliary verb because John is a he or a single person. Then we can add all the rest of the sentence to complete the questions. And that's the same form from the second and third statement. John eats lunch at noon, and the question is, what does John do at noon? The third statement is, John studies in the afternoon, and the question is, what does John do in the afternoon? And the fourth statement is, John studies English in the library, and this question is, what does John do in the library? It's also the same form of questions that I've told you before, but here we have the adverb of place to complete the questions. Okay, I guess that's all I can say for today. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope this can be helpful for you guys.